Hey you guys, I'm Lisa from theScore eSports, and we have a special guest in the theScore eSports office, NRG's new jungler Santorin. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks.
Now, it's been an exciting, season for you, so I wanted to go all the way back and talk to you about what's been happening with you. So the last time we saw you in the LCS, you were playing for TSM, and you guys finished second in the season, you guys went to Worlds, kind of had a disappointing showing. I'm sorry, man.
No problem.
And so since then, what has happened? So tell us, after coming back from Worlds, what went on with you and the team?
So after Worlds, TSM and I parted ways. I was not really sure if I wanted to continue being a professional player. So I had a month where I was like kind of deciding, do I want to go back to school? Do I want to be a full-time streamer? Do I want to play professional again? And in the end, I decided to go with Huma, a challenger team, to hopefully make it into the LCS, because so far I had already lost 2 relegations, so I was like, okay, third time that's the lucky charm, right? It didn't really work out for us. Really nice players though, like I really enjoyed playing on the team actually. Then I went to Ember. I only played for Ember for about 2 weeks, and then we sadly lost in the challenger scene. Throughout that time, I definitely realized that I wanted to be competing in the LCS again. Like I have this competitive drive, I always compete against other people, and why not compete at the highest level? So after Ember, I was looking for offers for LCS teams, and luckily I got picked up by NRG.
Cool, so let's go back even more. So after TSM, you mentioned that you weren't sure if you wanted to keep playing competitively. What were the reasons that you were kind of unsure that you didn't want to play anymore?
I just felt like I had a really poor performance in Summer Split and at Worlds. For myself, I felt like I had a good Spring Split and a good Katowice. And I just had to like realize, okay, am I gonna get better again? Am I gonna stay in this slump? And is it better to just go studying? And I felt like after realizing for a month, then I felt like I definitely have the competitive drive. I feel like I just had a bad split, and I'll definitely like step up again. And so I'm happy that now I can finally like hopefully succeed in LCS again.
So you chose to join Team Huma in the Challenger Series in Europe. Why them?
So I wanted to play for a challenger team to, first of all, like it's gonna improve me a lot as a person, because then playing on a team that hasn't really LCS tier players, or at least they're not playing in the LCS, that has to put me as a leader and sort of a shot caller, and like it puts me on a lot of different roles that will make me a better player myself and a better person and a better player for a team. So I saw it as a huge opportunity for myself, and hopefully make these guys on the level where we can actually make it into LCS. I felt like on Huma, if I stayed, we'd most likely actually make it into LCS, because we actually did really, really well leading into playoffs. But they picked up a new jungler who, I don't know what role he had in the team, but I just know like I used to be the shot caller, the in-game leader, like even doing some of the pick ban with the team. So I had a huge role in the team, and I would definitely say that it improved me kind of just as much as it did on TSM, because TSM really showed me like knowledge about the game, like how am I supposed to play the game, but it didn't really teach me like how to be an in-game leader or a shot caller, because we already had that on TSM. So it definitely, it put the role of a jungler in another perspective for me.
So it's interesting because on this roster, you're playing with some veterans like Warlib, there was Holy Phoenix, there's Godbro, and there's just Quas too, but he was more of an inexperienced compared to you guys. So it's interesting that I find that you stepped up to the shot caller role, the leader role, whereas you're playing with all these other veterans as well. What was it about you that you wanted to, be the shot caller on that team?
So I think Warlib is a really good player, Holy is also a really good player. They're both, that was like why I said like sort of been in the LCS, because they were in the LCS previously. The reason why I took it up is because like as a jungler you have more leeway, like you have more time to figure out what you want to do, and because I felt like playing in the challenger scene is not really where I belong, I feel like I could take on that extra work and become a shot caller.
And with these other guys, what was your relationship like? What was it like living with them, hanging out with these guys, playing with these guys?
So we actually didn't have a gaming house.
Oh.
That was also one of our issues why we didn't perform as well as I thought we would. We still did perform well, but I thought we would like definitely be the best team in the challenger scene by far. I really enjoyed playing with them. World, I was really, really good friends with Warlib. We used to do all the time, we used to play all the time, and when I left Huma, I definitely missed him as one of the most.
You mentioned how Huma, they didn't have the gaming house, and I know afterwards there was like a little controversy over their finances. So can you tell us like what happened there, and how did all those issues affect you guys when you were on the team and the whole team as a whole?
So the finances part was really rough for us. I don't really want to go into like super specific details, but basically it didn't allow us to have a gaming house, didn't allow us to have boot camps, and that affected us in a very negative way because we had coach and analyst from Canada.
Cool.
We are from Europe, different parts of Europe, so like having an analyst and coach online, I mean, they can help so much, but having them in the gaming house with all the players is definitely way more suitable for like any team. I think if we had a gaming house, we would have performed way better because like just being around other people, like seeing how they're feeling, and actually like being behind them. Like after a game, you can go to the past like replay of the game. You can tell them, yo, here you could have done this better. You can't do that online. Like it's definitely harder, especially as a player, because normally players help each other a lot when you're in a gaming house. But when you're not watching from the other perspectives, then it's mainly just the coach and analyst who can help.
So with all those issues going on, did that affect your decision to leave and go back to NALCS? Or sorry, let me change that, NACS.
Yeah, so it definitely, like the financial part definitely made me head towards another team. I feel like it's not going to last in the long run. Even though I love playing with the entire team, like coach, analyst, and the players, I just feel like it's not where I should be if it might go downhill later on. So I felt like it was just better for me to go away from it and like start somewhere else.
And so you made the decision to go to Team Ember and play in the Challenger Series in North America. Tell us more about that and why Team Ember for you?
Team Ember was a team where I knew a lot of the players already. I used to play on Coast with LOD and Grayson Gilmer.
Golden Glue was on that team too,
yeah, and I really enjoyed playing with those two. I remember when I was in Coast, like they used to be some of my best friends, and it just seemed like the natural thing for me to like play with them again because I actually missed it a lot. I also considered them good players in Challenger scene. I felt like some of the reason why we didn't step out was because we had not put enough preparation into it. TDK, I don't think any of us saw it coming losing to those. I think it's mainly because we had not prepared enough. And partly I can blame on myself. I did try to speak up though and say like we have to do something different weeks before the match actually. But in the end, like I was a new player to the team. I didn't feel like I had the same impact as I had on Huma because like on Huma I was like quote unquote the leader and the shot caller, and I didn't have the same role in Ember, and that's also why I felt like I didn't have the same, like I couldn't change as much as I wanted to.
Like with that TDK series you were talking about, also I think they were going through like a bunch of roster changes, switches as well. Yeah. So did that like maybe make it harder to prepare against that team?
So I'm not really sure where I would put someone like Alex and Off Legendary /
the Flares too.
Flares, yeah, and I felt like Ninja and Surf were definitely stronger players. But the playstyle Alex put into the game where he put like Nola's mid, that's something we had never dealt with before. Because like we hadn't scrimmed any teams who did that, and that's something that caught us off guard. And because, as I said, we didn't have enough compositions to run, not enough preparation, we didn't really have anything to deal with it, and that's why I felt like just from picking Ben, we had a chance of winning, but the chance like way lower than against the other teams we had played against where they didn't pick Nola's mid.
So after the series against TDK and you guys didn't qualify for the LCS, how did you and the team take that loss? Was it devastating for you guys?
So it was definitely devastating. On Ember, we were sort of told that we will definitely play another split. So I went to Toronto to visit Kelsey, and while I was there, suddenly the team disbanded.
Oh my god, so you didn't even, like you left and it just happened?
Yeah, sort of. And I actually had a flight ticket back to California, but I had to cancel that because like it was kind of over. So it was definitely like for every single player, like kind of what just happened, because like we had previously, like after the matches, we had discussed like what do we want to do moving forward, like what changes we have to make and all that kind of stuff, and then suddenly it all just disappeared. So it's definitely weird for us. I'm not 100% sure if I would have stayed on the team anyway, because I felt like I really wanted to play in the LCS again, and playing another Challenger split would mean I would first be able to compete in the LCS in 2017, which is a long time from now. Yeah. But if I was to stay, I feel like it would not be bad for me because like all the players are super great. I felt like the organization itself, they were all really kind to me. And like I had no issues with any of the players at all, whereas like some of the teams you normally have like an issue with that specific guy or whatever. So it's just like really, it was just nice and like comfortable playing with them.
It's interesting you bring that up because how important is it for you to be on a team where you know the players, that you have a good relationship with them? Whereas I know other players have the perspective where it's like it's business, you know, like it's not about whether you're friends, it's a job.
So I think the business, like just being like it's just business, is kind of awful because as a player, like if you have built a friendship, if you can have business and friendships, it'll normally become a better relationship, and also that means you can criticize people easier. If you're like on the edge with a person already, if you try to like tell him, yo, you should improve this, he's gonna like go off. Like he's not gonna be like the guy who's gonna be like, oh yeah, I should be doing that. He's gonna be like, no, I don't want to listen to you, right? And that's why I personally feel like having a good relationship with every single player is huge. I have not really been dealing with people where I don't really like them, but I could imagine if I was dealing with a guy that I didn't like, I mean, I would not be listening to that guy, I would be listening to the other players. So even if he has a great idea, I wouldn't be listening to it.
So it just helps the team in general if there's a positive environment relationship.
Exactly.
Well, you know, that's honestly the definition of unlucky. That like the last few teams and everything that happened to you, but now things are, you know, looking up.
Yeah.
You joined NRG as a new jungler. So tell us how that happened. How did they approach you, and how that, you know, how you joined the team?
Yeah, so after Ember, I was out of the contract, like they put me aside or whatever, so I was a free agent, and that means like any team can approach me. So NRG approached me, and like said, this is what we want to do in the upcoming split, and like we would love to have you on our team. I was really happy with that because obviously I want to compete in the LCS again, and I also feel like NRG is a good organization where like they have stars like Shaq and other people, and it's just like.
And not even on the team. It's just.
And not even on the team. They're just there, right? And then also another star like Gang by Mom, right? Like Gang by Mom is a super talented mid laner, and just like being able to play with him is like a huge thing for me, right? And then also they mentioned the other players they'll probably get on the team, and like Quas and KiWiKiD, who are announced, they are great people. I used to love playing with them, like just solo queue, duo queue, and they're just like really nice people in general. And I feel like having nice people around you will also make you play better because like you're more positive. You're not like, oh, again we're gonna play scrims. Like I don't want to do that, right? So like that's why I consider having a positive environment as a huge thing, because I thrive on positivity, right? Like if things are going downhill and people are being negative, it's harder for me to perform.
So you mentioned the other members on the roster right now. There's KiWiKiD, Quas, GBM. And so have you guys talked yet? Have you scrimmed together yet? What has been the team dynamic so far?
So I've been playing solo queue a lot with Quas. I've been playing a little bit of Counter-Strike with KiWiKiD just because we're sort of having the break. He's in Austin right now, I think Texas, and then I'm in Toronto. We'll first start scrimming together in like about 2 weeks, and sort of like mid-May. So till then, like some people are just relaxing, some people like me, I'm just doing streaming, same as Quas. And since we're both streaming, we might as well play together, right?
Yes.
And I really enjoy playing with Quas. I really enjoy playing Kiwi. I used to play a bit with Kiwi here and there. So like I'm really excited to play, and not just like scrims, but just being in a team house with them is going to be a really good experience for me, I think. And I can only see us like perform good, and I can only see us get better and better and better because like I think the environment will be really good.
So you mentioned also Quas. He was retired for a little bit. He said he wasn't playing, and now he's back. So, and you actually used to like play against him when he was on Liquid. You guys used to be like opponents. So what is it like having him join the team and you playing alongside of him, as well with him going through, you know, a big like a return almost to the scene?
So I definitely respect people like stepping down for a split. I feel like if they're not sure what they want to do, I had sort of the same feeling, right? I just decided to stay in challenger scene, which you can consider, well, not competing professionally because it's like semi-professionally. Taking a split off, I don't judge Quas at all for that. I think it's actually a good move by him if he feels like he doesn't want to compete. And then like when you have a split off, you realize, what do you actually want to do with my life? Like what do I want to gain? And I think while he was having that break, he realized what he actually wants. And knowing what you want, like you have a set goal, that means you'll be more, you want to do whatever it takes to get that goal. And that's why I feel like him and me sort of wanting to have a break will only make us better, because like now we have a set goal that we have high expectations towards each other, and we'll both do whatever it takes to perform.
Do you think with you and him taking that break and now returning to the stage, you guys like a little rusty? Are you guys nervous to kind of come back?
I mean, I'm a bit nervous. I'm just nervous because I'm really excited to return to the stage. I miss being on the stage, and I miss like having fans around me that like cheers for me. That's something that really boosts, like it really just boosts me in a really nice way, because like having fans that support you, will go with you like through hard and rough times. That just means a lot to me, and I think being on the stage where I can like actually see people will only make it better for me. And also, I would just miss like competing against the best teams, because like playing in the challenge scene is like playing from home. It feels like you're actually like just having fun, like playing solo queue or something. So it means a lot to me, like actually being on stage again and like having that atmosphere around me.
And I want to just mention KiWiKiD, because he's been playing I think in every season almost. He's a leader, you know, he's very well known. So on this team now, on NRG, how do you think, is he going to remain the leader of the team, or what would he bring to the team?
So I think that's where it's really good, because KiWiKiD is sort of a leader. I'm sort of a leader, so I feel like as long as you have like those key opponents, then you can put them together however you want them. So like if I see him being a better leader than me, I mean, obviously he should be the leader. If I'm a better leader than him, then I should be a leader. If we're sort of equal, well, we can lead together. And that means like we have the possibilities to do whatever we really want. On top of that, you have other people who might want to have like this specific role in the team too. And I think the good thing about our team is that we don't mind adapting. Like we don't mind taking like the lesser role if the team improves, plays well, right? And that's why I think it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be easier for me to adapt to that team, because I feel like there's just a lot of people who respect each other, and as long as you respect each other and you're not, as long as you're fine with like them stepping up and being the carry, and you're just like taking the role back, then like it's gonna be good.
So I wanted to address one piece of criticism that you've received many times throughout the year, and that piece of criticism was that you're too passive of a player. Some even joking that you just give vision, that you're just like a walking ward or whatever. So what are your thoughts on that piece of criticism?
So when I was in Coast, I used to be like the really aggressive player, the playmaker for the team. Then I went to TSM. I felt like I had to take a role where I'm more like the supportive player, because I have stars like Bjergsen and WildTurtle who like will carry the game if you just like get them a lead, or like just make sure they don't die. So after Spring Split was kind of where I was still sort of aggressive, but then going into Summer Split, it became really tank meta, really tank oriented. I had issues with being the hard engager, like the one that goes in first and like wins the fight by getting good engage. That's something that I improved a lot on while I was in the challenger scene. Also, when I got back to the challenger scene, I had to sort of carry whatever team I was on. That means like I have to take a more aggressive role again. So I feel like I'm kind of back at where I was at Coast in terms of like being really aggressive, but now I also have the knowledge and like I have the leadership, and I think that's gonna only make me even stronger as a player. And moving into LCS Summer Split, I think I'm gonna do really, really well. And I think if I put in the time and effort that I have to, then I'll actually be one of the best junglers in the NA.
So you played with WildTurtle before on TSM, and now he's on Immortals and had an amazing season. What do you think of his performance?
I think Turtle has really been stepping up now. I think he might just have had a weird time with TSM, like where he felt maybe uncomfortable. I don't know what it was, but like he's definitely like stepping up as sort of a carry again. I think it's great for him that he like now feels comfortable playing with the team again, and I think as long as like they keep improving as they are, I think they're gonna be a really, really strong contender for first place Summer Split. It all comes down to, again, like how they read the meta, but I think like their team is definitely what I would consider the strongest team right now.
And also TSM, they've made a bunch of changes this season. What do you think of their new roster and how they performed this season?
So when you just look at that roster, like they have really, really solid players, right? Like some of the best players in, you can say, the world. Now they won't have Yellowstar anymore, so we'll see how that goes, because like I honestly don't know who was the shot caller for the team, because I feel like there are so many people who could be the shot caller. I haven't really like talked to them about it, so I can't really tell you. But I think TSM had a really rough regular season because they probably didn't know who should be the shot caller. I feel like they probably all wanted to be the shot caller, but like by giving different calls, and that kind of like shaked up a lot of stuff in comms, where they would not be sure what we should be doing, and they'll be late to rotations, late to doing barons. They'd lose barons because they don't really know what we're doing. But I think they'll definitely be better heading into Summer Split, where they now will have a new support, where they hopefully know what roles they should each have in the team. I'm not sure what support they're going to get yet, but I could imagine it'd be a rookie. So that means like they won't have the shot caller from the support. That means like the people who probably want to shot call will have the ability to shot call, which might make the team better, even though Yellowstar is a great shot caller, right? Like, even though you have this really good shot caller, if it doesn't fit the team well, I mean, it's not going to go well regardless of how good he is. And that's why I feel like C7 will definitely do better in Summer Split. Also, now when they have actually like played a lot together, they know what each person can do. And I think regular season, Spring Split, that's just like where they got to sort of meet each other and like get to play with each other, and then they showed up in playoffs, and I think that's how they're gonna perform in Summer Split.
And you're gonna see them this season again on the stage, but as opponents this time. What is it gonna be like playing against your former teammates?
So it's gonna be great trying to camp Bjergsen.
You know.
Now I've been helping him so much, now I have to take something back.
Yeah.
But besides that, like I think TSM has great players. I can't wait to play against them, and I think I hopefully can become a scrim partner of them, so I can learn a lot from them. And I mean, I'm just like excited to play against them because I consider Bjergsen as one of the best players in the world.
You mentioned how your style now is very aggressive with the meta nowadays, with the carry junglers. Do you feel like the meta maybe suits your playstyle more?
So the meta definitely suits me. I love Nilly and Kindred. Those are my two mains right now, and sadly they're sort of nerfing them now.
Unlucky.
Which I'm really annoyed with, because the second I stopped playing in LCS, those were actually the ones that were on top. So I feel like I would have had a really great split. That's also why I want to get back in the LCS as soon as possible, because now I've actually, in my own eyes, I've improved a lot and I'm a way better player. I don't care if people disagree with me, because I know myself, like I'm better. So like leading into Summer Split, as long as they don't nerf it way too much, like I think I'm going to do really well.
So you're coming back to the LCS stage. What can fans, everyone who's watching, and other teams expect from you and NRG?
I think obviously NRG and I haven't scrimmed yet, so that's going to be a huge thing. That's also why when I'm streaming, I'm like, okay, I think we're going to do well. Can't say how well, because we haven't played together. We don't know how the atmosphere will be. But I'll definitely say, like, I would say a solid top 5 at least, and then you can only get better from there. Because, like, as I said, I haven't played with them, and I can't put the expectation way too high.
All right, thank you so much, Santorin. Good luck for the season. And you guys, if you guys enjoyed this, be sure to check out the rest of our content on our channel.